They are two of the best smartphones of 2019 without a doubt. Samsung's Galaxy Note 10 Plus and the OnePlus 7 Pro are two very capable phones with a lot going for them. While the Note 10 Plus is Samsung's ultimate flagship smartphone with everything maxed out, the OnePlus 7 Pro is OnePlus's foray into a very competitive flagship segment. Of course, no one phone is the right choice for everyone. So, join us as we discuss how two of the best phones of 2019 stack up against each other in 2020. I am Rohan from TechieTechTech and here we go. The first contact we have with a phone is holding it. The in-hand feel might not be too important for most of us since we use cases anyway, but at the same time, smartphone construction and design is an important factor. The Galaxy Note 10 Plus feels like a piece of jewelry in hand. The glossy, shiny silver aluminum bands combined with the Aura Glow paint job screams for attention and rightfully gets it. The display is curved gently and the glass front and back combine to make a product which looks and feels luxurious. But just because it is cheaper doesn't mean the OnePlus 7 Pro is a lower quality product. The OnePlus 7 Pro is narrower and more easy to handle, although to be quite honest, both of these phones are fairly large. The aluminium rail is glossy on this one too and looks good, although the Nebula Blue or Black edition don't grab nearly as much attention as the Aura Glow Note 10. The power button is on the right side on the 7 Pro, which is better than the left-sided button on the Note 10. The mute slider on the OnePlus 7 Pro is very convenient and I wish it was there on the Note 2. The glass is more steeply curved on the OnePlus 7 Pro, which is not a problem but doesn't feel as good as the Note 10. It also leads to more accidental touches on the display, although as a side note, both these phones do get a fair bit of accidental touches thanks to their curved glass display. All in all, both these phones feel good in the hand, but the Note 10 Plus does feel and look like a more expensive product. Moving on to the display, whenever you compare any phone's display to a Samsung flagship panel, you know the best you can do is be the same because no one yet has beaten Samsung at the display game. Even here, while the OnePlus 7 Pro has a bright, sharp and vibrantly colorful display, the Note 10 Plus is just a whole level above it. The display on the Note 10 Plus is very beautiful and the overall multimedia experience is brought to life with the amazing colors. Be it web browsing, book reading, video or gaming, picture quality on the Note 10 makes a significant difference and is just way better than any other competing smartphone. That's not to say that the OnePlus 7 Pro has a bad display, far from it. As a standalone device, the display on the OnePlus 7 Pro is actually pretty great, very impressive and hands down the best display used by OnePlus to date. In fact, where it beats Samsung is in having a higher refresh rate, which makes everything look and feel smoother. It also has no notches or hole punches, which gives a very pleasant full screen look to the device compared to the hole punch in the top middle of the Note 10's display. All in all, both these displays are pretty good and it is up to you to decide if you care more about the picture quality or the higher refresh rate. Let's move on to the performance. The performance is another thing where things are extremely close. Depending on where you live, you would either have the Snapdragon or the Exynos Note 10. The Snapdragon one is clearly better, but the Exynos one is okay too, just not as good. The OnePlus 7 Pro has the Snapdragon no matter where you buy it, and put on top of that OnePlus's smoother and faster Oxygen OS and the 90Hz display, and from the surface, the OnePlus 7 Pro runs much smoother. If you want a phone that feels fast and is a true performance beast, the OnePlus 7 Pro clearly outshines the Note 10 Plus and is the phone for you. Coming back to the Note 10, my Exynos version is actually pretty good in day-to-day usage. But it's not sufficient for a phone to just be good in day-to-day usage, especially at a price point like that. Memory management works, app loading times are minimal, and regular stuff like web browsing, YouTube, and social media work flawlessly. The animations are slower on Samsung's One UI, but that's not really lag, it's just the way the software is designed. It's only when you come to gaming that you realize the difference between the two phones. I tried 3 heavy graphic intensive games: Asphalt 9, Call of Duty Mobile, and PUBG. All 3 games, when pushed to the limit and played for a 30-minute duration, perform significantly better on the OnePlus 7 Pro. And to be candid with you, they're not even close. The Note 10 drops more frames, heats more, and clearly struggles compared to the OnePlus, which in comparison handles the games effortlessly. Smaller games like Candy Crush run fine on both, but heavier games are clearly more suited to the OnePlus. And of course, this experience might differ with the Snapdragon Note 10 Plus, so do keep that in mind if your region has that variant available. Let's move on to a traditional strong point for Samsung and somewhat of a historically weak point for OnePlus: the cameras. On the display, here's a quick look at the specs of both the phones. Let's talk about the photos first. The Galaxy Note 10 Plus clearly takes better pictures than the OnePlus 7 Pro, especially outdoors. The pictures shot on the Note 10 Plus have better colors and are well saturated thanks to Samsung's excellent color science. Moreover, the HDR processing on the Note 10 Plus is way ahead of any Android smartphones we have tested. The pictures shot on the OnePlus 7 Pro are contrasty and have a processed look as compared to the more natural look in the pictures shot on the Note 10 Plus. The OnePlus 7 Pro has a really fast autofocus, especially when you're shooting with the primary lens. The results are somewhat similar in low light, but the Note 10 Plus retains real-life colors after processing. The OnePlus 7 Pro also takes fairly good pictures in low light, but sometimes the images can get a bit too noisy. It's a decent low light still shooter, and you can see the side-by-side comparison on your display. Noise processing is good on both the devices, but the Note 10 Plus produces some artifacts in low light pictures. The front camera on both the phones take decent selfies, yet they're not sharp, but the Note 10 Plus renders more accurate skin tones. The OnePlus 7 Pro takes more natural looking portraits because of the 3x telephoto lens. Although the Note 10 Plus fights back and renders better colors. Subject separation is equitable on both the devices. Now that we are done with the photos, let's talk about the video taking capabilities. The clear winner here is, no surprises, the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, mostly because of its better color rendering and sharpness. The OnePlus 7 Pro has very fast autofocus and works like a charm in videos because of the laser focus module. Both the devices produce jittery and noisy videos in low light conditions. The results are somewhat better than the previous generations, but nowhere near the iPhone's video camera. It's clear that the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus should be your choice if you take a lot of pictures and videos with your smartphone. It might not have the faster autofocus, but the camera outshines almost every other smartphone in its price bracket because of the color science and HDR processing. Moreover, Samsung has a bunch of different camera modes like a video portrait mode and even a manual video mode. So, the Note 10 Plus is the clear winner if smartphone photography or videography is of utmost importance to you. Moving on, the battery life on both these phones is actually pretty good. The Note 10 Plus can last longer by an hour or 90 minutes of more screen time, but at the same time, OnePlus charges faster with its swap charging. I happen to charge overnight or in the office, so I prefer the Note 10's arrangement more, but again, both are so good that it doesn't really matter. The stereo speakers in the Note 10 Plus are clearly better. The sound is clearer, louder and more defined compared to the OnePlus 7 Pro's speaker setup. Video watching experience is great on both regardless. Another thing I would like to talk about is the reception and earpiece quality, both of which are better on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, though again the difference is not that much and should not be a decision maker. Then there is the S Pen on the Note 10 Plus, which could or could not be a vital feature for you. Now I like to doodle around when I use the Note 10, but I have never missed it when I switch over to any other phone. If you really like it, then the Note 10 is your winner because the OnePlus has nothing to compete in this department. In fact, I think no other smartphone can compete with the Samsung Note when it comes to a stylus. Now, a feature I do miss much more than the S Pen when I move away from Samsung phones is Samsung Pay. To put it briefly, it is an app which uses a unique sensor that's only present on Samsung smartphones, which lets you pay with your credit cards directly from your phone, even those terminals without NFC support. It has been a lifesaver for me on many days when I foolishly forgot my wallet at home. Now let's finally conclude this comparison. Let's talk about money. Depending on where you live, the Galaxy Note 10 Plus costs around 1.5 to 2.5 times the cost of the OnePlus 7 Pro. Here in India, the OnePlus 7 Pro is roughly 42,000 rupees and the Note 10 Plus is 84,000 rupees. At such a stark difference, it would be hard to justify spending double on the Note 10 Plus even if it were a better phone. If we were to keep the price aside for a second, both of these phones are great with strengths and weaknesses of their own like we discussed in the video. You should pick up whichever phone suits you best and the one you feel comfortable spending your money on. As for me, that phone would be the OnePlus 7 Pro. For any rants, discussions, feedback, use the comment section below where I would be replying to everyone. Please like this and share this video and subscribe to our channel. This has been Rohan from TechieTechTech and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.